Welcome to your online statistics class. In this class, we'll have a brief look at cumulative frequency distribution, or as it's also sometimes called, cumulative frequency polygon. And we'll learn how to do that. There are a lot of different ways you can actually build or draw a cumulative frequency distribution. We'll have a look at the way that I suggest you do that if you are taking my statistics class. So let's say on a test you have an assignment like this. Draw a cumulative frequency distribution of student grades for the following classes. First thing I would like you to do is to break this range that indicates each class into basically separate numbers. I'm going to go for 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So each of these numbers will indicate the cumulative number of students with the grades up to 50, up to 60, up to 70, and so on. Let me call these classes. Next, I want to find the frequencies. Since 50 is our lowest range, there aren't any students with the grades below 50. So for the lowest number, you can safely enter 0. Next, we want to look at the frequency of student grades. How many students are with grades between 50 and 60? For that, I want to sort this data by grades. Click on Data, Sort, choose Sorting by Grades, and there you go. I want to count number of students with grades up to 60. But do I include these 3 students with the grade equal to 60 within this class, or do I leave them for the next one? To answer this question, let's look at the original range for classes. The first one includes 60, so I include these 3 here as well. That gives me 14 students. In a similar way, I count the number of students with the grades up to 70, including 70. That's 41 students. Then number of students with the grades up to 80. That's 25. Number of students with the grades up to 90. That's 30. And the rest of the students all the way up to 100. That is 10 students. Next, from this frequency column, I want to calculate the cumulative frequency. Put 0 for the first row. And for each additional row, I want to add all the previous frequency numbers. So for this second row, I want to enter the formula where the previous number is added to the number in that same row. Copy the formula, and that shows me the total number of students, which is 120. Now I want to put this on the chart. Just select this data, insert chart in the form of a line, give it a proper name, and we need to put the correct numbers here on the horizontal axis. For that, I will need these numbers here for the classes. Right-click anywhere on the chart, select Data, Edit, click on this button here, and select all of these. OK, and click OK again. And that gives you a cumulative frequency distribution of student grades. You see that slightly over 50 students get grades up to 70. And it looks like top 20 students, that's this range between 100 and 120, because we only have 120 students in total. Top 20 students get the grade somewhere above 87, I would say. Since this chart is not very detailed, these numbers are approximate. Of course, you can get the more detailed information from this table itself. Let me move this chart out of the way, because next we are going to look at a relative cumulative frequency distribution. In that case, we want to express these numbers as percentages. That is the only difference. I'm going to put it in this column. To calculate the percentages, I'm going to use this formula where this number is divided by the total, of course. Hit F4 to fix this reference to this cell. Copy that formula and let's put it into percentages. Now we can put it on the chart, insert, line. Again, you want to do the same, give it a proper name, and put the correct numbers on the horizontal axis. Let me move it out of the way first, right-click anywhere, select data, edit, and these are the numbers you want to take. Now let's have a look at this. From this chart, you might be able to read that the top half of the students, top 50% of the students, get a grade somewhere around 73 and above. If you want to have more detail here, you can add more grid lines, such as these vertical grid lines. But even then, this chart is not very detailed. You can only make approximate conclusions from this chart, and if you want more details, you'll have to look at the data itself. So there's cumulative frequency distribution for you. Have a nice weekend.